everyone, today I'm going to be talking about moon in the 6th house. How does this placement affect your birth chart and your energy in general? So keep watching. Hi everyone, today I'm going to be talking about moon in the 6th house. So what happens when you have this placement, and how does it affect your energy in general, your emotional well-being? What do you turn to when you need to feel okay and when you need to feel emotionally grounded? That's what I'm going to be talking about in this video. As always, I say, if you like the video, give it a like, drop in a comment, and if you'd like to book a reading with me, you can drop me a message on Facebook or email. The links are in the description box, and I'll get back to you soon. Alright, so let's talk about moon in the 6th house. So what is moon? Moon is our emotional nature. It's a very core part of our personality that not a lot of people get to see. It's usually our close friends, family, relatives, just people who are very close to us who get to see our moon sign. And it's also what we turn to when we need to feel emotionally okay. So what are your mechanisms that you turn to feel emotionally grounded and be, for your overall emotional well-being in general? So the 6th house is about health, it's about wellness, it's about daily work, especially like daily routine, daily habits, things of that nature. It also rules small pets, and it's also the house of hidden enemies. So let's talk a little bit about all these aspects. So when you have moon in the 6th house, you're most likely going to be the kind of person that turns to eating healthy, working out a lot, like fitness, good health, those kind of things in order to feel good. You're most likely the kind of person who is very, very organized, because again, 6th house is a traditionally Virgo ruled house. It has themes of being organized, being clean, very clean, tidy, organized, attention to details. You're most likely the kind of person that makes a to-do list every day of the things that you need to check out, the tasks that you have for the day at hand, and you like checking off that list and being very productive. I think being productive is very important to you because, again, it's an earth sign ruled house, and usually earth signs focus a lot on efficiency, productivity, in order to feel emotionally grounded and like they've achieved something. So moon in the 6th house, you will most likely have a very regimented life, or like a very structured routine in your day-to-day life. Like you may have a set time when you wake up. You may have a very set schedule as to how you go about your life on a day-to-day basis, and that's not going to change so much. Now again, I always say this depends on the whole chart. Like it depends on the zodiac sign that you have going on in the 6th house, because even though you have the moon in the 6th, if you have moon in a sign like Pisces or Sagittarius or like a mutable sign, then your day-to-day routine is not going to be the same. It's going to be widely different on a day-to-day basis. So that's something to keep in mind. It's not going to be the same for every moon in 6th house person. It depends on your zodiac sign. It depends on the aspects as well. So let's go on with the moon in 6th house placement. So you could be focused on health and fitness quite a lot. You could take care of your body a lot, like working out every day, eating clean, eating right, avoiding processed foods, avoiding sugar, that kind of thing. Just eating clean and healthy may be very important to you. You may be also very interested in holistic healing methods, like alternative healing methods. You may kind of turn away from like mainstream methods of self-care or healing and turn to like alternative modalities, because that's another very 6th house theme. Virgo is known for being very it's a healing placement. It's known for healing and surgeries and medical field, that kind of thing. So you may be very interested in alternative therapies, whether it comes to mental health, whether it comes to the kind of nutrition that you do or the kind of workouts that you do. There will be something a little bit different about it. Now that being said, you're the kind of person that, let's say if it's a workout, you're going to do something that is intense but also very structured. Generally, I've seen with the moon in the 6th house placement, they tend to be very streamlined and very lean with their approach towards life. You don't like too much busyness when it comes to like turning to what makes you feel good. Like It could be something like, if you enjoy cooking, for just as a hypothetical example, if that's something you enjoy doing, then the process of cooking needs to be very uncluttered, simplistic, something that you have easy access to. It needs to be minimal in some way where it's very efficient, streamlined, and organized, because you don't like a lot of busyness or like too many processes involved into getting into that stage where you actually make a meal, if that makes sense. So even in the case of working out, if that's what you turn to make yourself feel good, or like emotionally feeling good, then the processes that you use, or like the kind of exercises that you do, will be those that deliver maximum results with minimum fuss, if that makes sense. Because Virgo is very known to be very lean, very organized, very focused on efficiency. Like, they like things that are efficient and multitasking, multifunctional. Like, it has to be very useful. Like, it's an earth sign. It's like I said, sixth house is an earth sign ruled house. So you're going to want things or avenues to unwind emotionally. But those avenues need to be very structured, very lean, and deliver results. You don't like wasting time on things that just don't prove functional or productive. Like, it could even be as simple as the tools that you use towards making a meal. You may have the best knives because that's what saves you time. That's what makes things efficient and productive. Instead of having a substandard knife that's going to take longer to get the job done, you'd rather invest in something niche and higher quality that gets the job done in a lesser time and with less effort, if that makes sense. So you're always going for things that make your life simpler, if that makes sense. Now, also, I wanted to say that the sixth house also has to do with nutrition, healing, health, all of that. So again, back to nutrition, you may be the kind of person that likes to turn to healthy food or highly nutritious food in order to feel good, because that's the way you fuel your body. And we are what we eat, right? And that's very true of Virgo or any sixth house placement, because you do tend to place a lot of importance on those aspects of your life, like your health and your body, and your physical well-being is also very closely connected to your emotional well-being. So even when it comes to nutrition, you may avoid processed foods. You may look at like growing your own vegetables in your backyard, for example, or you may turn to a supplier who delivers only fresh organic produce every week to your doorstep, that kind of thing. You're not going to go for convenience just because it's simple. So there's a bit of paradox here. Like I said, you want simplicity, you want convenience, you want to streamline the process as much as possible, but at the same time, you're not willing to cut corners in that way. You're not going to go for something that you know is going to be detrimental to your health. So even in the case of nutrition, you're not going to go for something like a canned food or processed food just because it's convenient. You'd rather take an extra step and go for something that's organic, fresh from the farm if possible. But like, clean, healthy eating is a very important part of your sustenance, and also how you feel emotionally secure and good within yourself. That being said, like I always say, it depends on your moon placement, and also if you have any debilitating aspects to your moon. You could have moon in sixth house, but you could also be very sloppy, very untidy, messy. It depends on what aspects are going on with your moon. Because there is also a flip side to the moon and sixth house people. They tend to go through cycles where they may be very clean, very organized, very on top of things, and then they may go through a phase where they completely lose their mojo, or they just don't want to stay on top of things, and that's when you'll see like the house a little bit messy, or they're not really sticking to their regular schedule, that kind of thing. And then they come back to the organized schedule, but they beat themselves up about it. There is a bit of a masochistic quality with this placement. A lot of Virgo placements have this. They tend to punish themselves a little bit in order to get a reward. It's very Virgo. I don't know why, but I've seen this theme play out across very prominent Virgo placements, even sixth house placements. So these people will purposely, or because they push themselves so much, like their whole phase, when they're going through the phase of being like very organized, very tidy, like they're eating clean, working out everything, they're going to be like perfect in that, because it's a sign of perfection. They strive towards perfection. and they're going to feel good about it. But then there will be the shadow side that peaks in, which is the shadow side of the 12th house, where they want to kind of not stick to schedule, not stick to routine, and they want to just kind of let things loose, like they don't want to do all that. That's when you're going to see them slipping a little bit, and then they go back to their original cycle, but they're going to kind of punish themselves a little bit for that. Like, why did I slip up? They're very hard on themselves. So moon in 6th house, I would say, don't beat yourself up. We're all human. We all make mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. So don't beat yourself up so much. We're all doing the best we can with whatever we have. So you need to pat yourself on the back every now and then, because you don't do that often enough. Self-flagellation, that's what I was trying to say. That's a very big theme here, that punishment because you've just slipped up or done something wrong. That ultra perfectionist mode needs to go. I mean, that's not healthy, and you may struggle with that quite a bit, moon in the 6th house. I do want to say that, the 6th house also rules small pets, which is nice. Like, you may have pets throughout your life, or not. Again, like I said, it depends on the moon sign. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're always going to have pets or be super attached to animals in general, but I've seen this theme play out, that a lot of moon and 6th house people usually have some kind of pet with them. Even if they're staying alone, they will have something, or some kind of pet or company with them. 6th house also rules hidden enemies. So that's something I would be very cautious about, moon and 6th house people, is be very careful about the people that you vent to, or the people that you emotionally express yourself to, because a lot of the times what I've seen with this placement is the people that they turn to for emotional comfort or for emotional sustenance usually end up the people that end up betraying them in some way, because they may be secretly jealous of you, secretly envious of you, or they want something that they want something from you or from your life that they don't have going on themselves. So be very careful about that. Be very mindful. I think that moon and 6th house people can struggle with this aspect when they're much younger, when they don't know any better. They may end up confiding in the wrong people, or just turning to people emotionally, though when they don't really give back anything in return, or they may not be very reciprocal. Like, they may emotionally turn to people who are actually very cold towards them, very critical towards them, because that's that Virgo energy being reflected back to them, where the other person may be very critical towards them. So as an example, as a moon and 6th house person, you may go to someone who you think is like a close family friend, or like a close friend that you've known for many, many years. You go and tell them something that's bothering you, and they turn around and say, but why would you do that? Very cold, very critical behavior is something that they may experience from other people when they try to emotionally open themselves up to other people. So that's why it's often called the house of hidden enemies, because you don't really know they are your enemies. You think they are your trusted confidant or friend or ally, but you realize much later in life that these people never had your back. They never really had anything, actually. They didn't have your best interests at all. They didn't have your best interests at heart at all. So it's really important to be very discerning, because sometimes moon and 6th house people, they can be so emotionally starved that they may do that. They may turn to the wrong kinds of people for emotional comfort. So the main lesson here is to be very self-nurturing, because sometimes that whole self-flagellating attitude that you have towards yourself, that self-criticism, that's very detrimental to your mental health. And so it's really important for you to start nourishing your own self from within, because when you're nourished from within, you're going to not turn to people who are unhealthy for you, or toxic for you, or just cold, or don't return the emotional energy back to you. And you're going to be able to discern that energy much better, because if you are cold with your own self, it's very difficult to see if another person is being cold or critical towards you, if that makes sense. So you have to start being more nurturing, more, like I said, giving yourself a pat on the back, appreciating yourself more. Because if other people are not appreciating you, you need to start appreciating yourself a whole lot more. When you start filling your cup like that, you're going to want less and less of that external validation, or I'm not even going to call it validation because people just paint such a negative picture about it, like it's so wrong to seek validation. No, I mean, we are social animals. We live in a pack. No person is an island. We all turn to each other for validation. Like that, that's just what it is. But what I'm trying to say is, when you're nourished like that from within, you're going to be less susceptible to sort of falling prey to people who may not have your best interests at heart. So just something to keep in mind. It's not meant to scare you or make you feel paranoid about people in general. Like, I'm not saying all moon and sixth house people are going to face this. You may have a very, very good support system around you. You may have the best bunch of friends, family, and people who actually have your genuine interests at heart. So it doesn't apply to every moon and sixth house person. But this can happen, is what I'm saying. So what to do in that case is what I explained. So that's what I have for you, Moon and Sixth House people. You guys are lovely, and the world would be less functional without you. So I really appreciate you. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Like I said, your likes help my videos stay relevant. So if you don't want my videos to vanish into the ether, please give it a like. And drop in a comment if it resonated. If you're a Moon and Sixth House person, tell me what you felt about the video. And if you'd like to book a reading with me, drop me a message on Facebook or email. I'll get back to you soon. My responses are pretty fast, so I'll get back to you soon. And that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.